What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. And today we're going to be talking about some of the biggest mistakes that wide receivers make. So we're going to mainly be talking about the mistakes you make against press, how you guys can avoid that jam, how you guys can get more separation at the top of the route, and how you guys can obviously beat a physical DB and some of the mistakes that receivers make against that. So I hope this video gives you guys some value and kind of gives you some ins and outs of route running that you guys may be making the same mistakes and how you can correct those, okay? But also, fellas, on our website, we were offering an ultimate wide receiver training package. So what that would be is that's a full month-long gym program, and you would get our wide receiver Bible thrown into that at a discounted price. So check out that very first link in the description, fellas. It's the best package that we have on our website for wide receivers. It's a full gym program and then a full technique manual on everything about the wide receiver position, from catching all the way to blocking, from route running, all the way to the IQ side of things and the mindset of a wide receiver. So check out that very first link in the description, fellas, for our wide receiver package. Let's get started. So first things first, going to be looking at this rider from Justin Jefferson. This is like Devontae Adams style, right? That's like my comparison with Jefferson. I swear, especially after this past year, because of what he's able to do off the line. So the mistake that guys make is that they don't make their releases look the same, right? So you see Jefferson's a real big guy. Like, you see him do that hesitation move. He'll throw a 1-2, take the inside. He'll like kind of hesitate, hit him with a split release, then take the inside. Or now in this case, you see how he gives that little hesitation skip. That DB's kind of settling. He sits to the inside. His feet are stopping. Then we just beat him with speed, right? This is something that a lot of guys aren't able to do. A lot of guys aren't able to make what they do off the line look the same. Because take it from me, especially when you coach for like a high school or a college, you spend a lot of time watching film on the opponent and looking for their tendencies, right? So you look for their tendencies, and you got to treat like the defensive backs, defensive coordinators, DB coaches. They do the same thing with you as a wide receiver, right? So I'm looking at a team's tendencies. Okay, like let's say I'm on defense and I'm trying to study an offense. Hey, they come out in an empty formation like 50% of the time. Okay, we're gonna practice that a lot this week. We're gonna understand what they like to do out of empty. Maybe they like to do a play action on third down, or let's say they do play action every time it's second and short. All right, so let's expect that if we get in that situation. Same thing with the DB. You guys got to understand that this dude, this receiver, or this DB is studying you. He studies what you do throughout the week. He studies that, okay, every time he runs this fade, he likes to do this skip release and then go. So if I see him do this skip release, I'm going to jump outside. As a receiver, I could just put the brakes on with my right leg, take the inside release, and then work to restack. There's so many different ways you could do it, and you got to be prepared for it, right? So making your releases look the same is one of the best ways to get separation off the line of scrimmage, and not a lot of receivers do it. A lot of receivers at this point, they won't do this the same. Because you'll see Jefferson do this skip, and then he'll burst up field. He'll go 1, 2, and then pop this thing off on the third step and run a diamond release and slip back underneath and run a slant. And then he'll do the same thing. He'll hit that third step, then he'll throw a cut to the inside with his fourth step to get the DB to sit, and then he runs a fade. It makes it all look the same, fellas. It's not the most complicated thing in the world. A lot of receivers, when they get to this point right here, up against a DB press, they walk out in a game, everything they've learned throughout the offseason, because maybe they don't have a guy explaining it well enough to them, or maybe they don't have just the knowledge of the position, but they're lost. They're like, everything that they learned, all the friggin' obstacle course drills that they did goes out the window because they don't know the situation to use things, and they don't know how to set up a DB. They have 20 different things in their head at this point, and so they panic, and then they just run the route, right? So you got to have 5 to 6 things, make them all look the same, and that's what gets me space. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Jefferson working this little hesitation skip. You want to sit to the inside, I'm just going to beat you outside with speed. All right, so now the second mistake that a lot of guys make is they think they're selling vertical, but they don't sell vertical hard enough. So we're looking at this rider from KJ Hill. So he comes off here, and I want you to see, like, I don't think on this one, like, obviously, like, he catches the ball, but this is like a 10-yard out route, and he's coming back to like about 5 yards. So I think that if we needed to get to 10 in this situation, like maybe it's like, let's say it's like 3rd and 8, and I need to get a first down, this wouldn't be the best situation. This wouldn't be the best route, only because you see when we're running to the inside shade here, and he gives this kind of move, and we're running, you see how this DB is just kind of, he's just sitting. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting on this thing, and I know the reason why he's sitting is because we didn't make him believe it enough, right? If I truly was threatening him to the inside with a seam route, with a deeper route like a corner, maybe I was trying to get back over the top, he would be fully committed and he would be running, right? So this route didn't necessarily work as well as it could have because I didn't sell vertical long enough. That's what so many guys struggle with. So many guys struggle to make this DB flip his hips and run because they're so concerned about the break. Maybe they're either like counting steps and they're thinking about it too much, or maybe they're just not comfortable enough at the top of the route. And I don't think that's what it is for Hill, because Hill's a great route runner. I don't think he's not comfortable. I think he might just be kind of preparing for this break, trying to get get to the right yardage and slowing himself down. The things that make this guy turn his hips are speed, body language, and you got to freaking sell, man. You got to be real. You can't get to here. You can't come off fast and then start to chop your feet right here. You can't come off and you can't start to chop your feet right before the beginning of right before the top of the route, because that's going to make the DB slow down. If that DB's watching his hips and he starts to see your hips slowly cruise down, or he's starting to feel your speed slowly start to change, DB's going to sit on it, right? Drops your hips, DB's going to drop his hips, right? So if I could have a sudden drop and I'm really pushing vertical, that doesn't allow the DB to have time to react to this thing, okay? So let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. I think just at the stem portion of this thing, now we're going to be looking at what mistakes guys make against a physical DB. That's going to be the next clip that we're talking about. But on this route, fellas, anytime, maybe even if you're running like a post route in this case, you have an easy inside release, you got to make this guy turn and run. Trust me, if we get him to turn and run and commit, we should win every single time. It's when I start to slow down my speed, I'm not attacking the depth of the route because maybe I'm not comfortable with the break point. Maybe I'm not comfortable dropping my hips. That's what makes this guy sit on the route and we don't get as much separation. And then we're going to really have to fight to get leverage and we lose yardage, right? So let's watch the thing again, full speed right here. Just make sure that we don't start chopping my feet. I don't slow down. I am as fast as I possibly can into that break with the explosion, selling with my pad level, selling with my body language, and going. And that's much easier said than done, right? So it takes a lot of work to be able to get to that point. But once you get to that point, you guys are going to see the separation you're able to get. It's not about steps at the top. It's about eliminating time spent at the top of the break. Can I cut out the time I've spent at the top of the route? So watch this next clip. So now this next clip here, we're going to be talking about the mistakes that guys will make against physical dudes, right? So this route, like, yeah, he won the route, but like, let's count here. Let's see how long this takes, right? Especially 10-yard line going in, it's probably less time. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, now the ball's out, right? So that's a sack if it's man coverage. That's just how it is. I mean, we got to get off this thing just a little bit faster. So the key here, when you're up against a physical dude, is, dude, just commit to a move and go. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, what's the whole point of a jam? You got to look at this from a DB perspective. Why was a jam even invented? Why do defenses even do that, right? Because it seems like when they go out and press, we should torch those dudes every single time. They do that to screw up timing with the quarterback, to hopefully force a sack. They're thinking, I'm going to get hands, I'm going to be physical, because then my pass rush is going to be able to get there, and they'll be able to sack the quarterback, and that's pretty much it, right? So the main thing is, in this case, right, the main thing is in this case is that, like I said, you got to just stick to a move and commit to it, right? So he goes with this just quick wide step, goes to the inside. He needs to probably just like shoulder reduce in this case and work to get to the inside route on a dig, because I can't make an outside move, break to the inside, swat the hands, break to the outside for 5 steps, and then break back and still be trying to fight the move and then get to the inside. This is a good job by the DB. This receiver will not have that much time to make the route. I catch this thing, he's getting jammed. I'm not going to mess with this, and I'm going to move on to the next receiver or the next progression. So main thing is you got to stick with the move. Don't be afraid of contact, and we got to give something a little bit like better here, right? So he's inside shade. I really got to threaten him to the outside. Me stepping like this, just like lateral, and not really having any explosion there. It's almost like I'm hopping. This isn't necessarily like a split release. I think he's trying to do more of a wide step release. When I got to threaten him to the outside. If I'm making an outside move and I'm trying to move him off that platform, I got to threaten him in that direction. And if he wants to sit to the inside on this, maybe the next time I run this route, he wants to take the inside. Maybe I push up to the outside, try to get him to turn his hips like we were talking about. Then I break at the top and throw by. But it's got to be quicker. We cannot be making 3, 4, 5, 6 different moves within a route, because that screws up the timing with the quarterback. And that's the entire goal of the jam. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So a big mistake that guys make is they try to do too much. Keep that timing with the quarterback. Understand the situation. Understand that he's probably going to be getting pressure. Now, if it's a situation like 2-man coverage where like they're not bringing a lot of pressure, but you still got man, that's fine. Maybe I work something a little bit longer. Maybe I have a little bit more time to work on this route because the quarterback has a little bit more time. But let's say it's man coverage. You don't see like 0 or maybe 1 safety. And let's say they're stacking the box. They're going to be bringing 6, 7 guys on the quarterback. And I noticed that. I can't be taking my time out there because I know the quarterback ain't got that time, right? He's going to be moving on to something quicker. I got to make sure that I make something happen and I get off this thing. Like, I get off this thing quick, I get off this thing fast, so I keep the timing. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So just got to make sure that we fight those hands, fellas. Got to make sure that we stick to a release. I'd rather have, because especially in the goal line, you don't need that much separation. Trust me. Just make sure that we keep the timing. I get to the spot the quarterback needs me to get to. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And again, fellas, the best wide receiver package that we have on our website, Ultimate Wide Receiver Training. training package. It's a full month-long training program in the gym, specific exercises wide receivers need to do. And we also have our wide receiver Bible thrown into there at a discounted price. Everything technical that wide receivers need to know, from blocking all the way up to catching to IQ, reading defenses, etc. Everything you need to know. Check out that very first link in the description. I'll see you guys next time.